What do you think? Christmas in August. Do you have those days where you just question why you do this? Welcome back to Wally's Working. Project Good Enough, my 1955 Chevy COE. All right, I decided to put the condenser in, so I went down to AutoZone. Actually had one in stock. Nice aluminum one. I wasn't expecting it to be one of these, but fits really nice. And the grill, I ended up painting the insides again black on the top and the bottoms. And I think that looks much, much better. Definitely sets it off a little bit. All right, so I did a whole bunch of other little things too while I was in here. I painted the upper radiator mounts. I'm trying to finalize this so I don't have to get in here and mess with any of this again, I'm hoping. All right, so as for the marker lights on the grill, the two lights down on the bottom, these here, those are just gonna be marker only, and then I'm gonna use the ones on top of the fender for turn signals. So what I did, man, this thing's hot. It's sitting in the sun. So what I did was, instead of using the original sockets and bulbs and all that, they were completely rotted out and gone anyway. So what I did was, I actually have some of these little, this one happens to be a clear one, these little LED marker lights, you know, with grommets and stuff. I actually test fit that one in the light here, and they do fit really well. So what I did was, I went down to O'Reilly, and they actually had an amber one, and they fit in there pretty good. It's a little bit, it's just a tiny bit loose in there, the rubber, but it's fine. It can't come out. Cheap, easy way to do it too. And these things are all sealed, you know, so I don't have to worry about water getting inside of them or whatever. Oh yeah, that looks better. Much cleaner. It's pretty darn good. Yeah, just painting these black makes a big difference in here too. Can't wait to paint that hood now. And I will do the bumper. Very, very nice. Okay, cool. You know what that means too? Guess what I'm gonna do next? Yeah, I'm gonna paint them. I'm gonna paint them the same color. That's gonna really tie all of that together. I went ahead and painted the Chevrolet, and I won't get too close because it's not that great. I definitely do not have the hand to do that, that's for sure. But it turned out fine. It's a good 5-10 footer, it'll be just fine. And once it weathers in a little bit, it'll blend in just fine. I haven't made up my mind if I wanna try to do any kind of, maybe rub it in a few spots with some Scotch-Brite or whatever, kind of age it a little. I don't know, that or just leave it alone. Not really sure. What do you guys think? Took the driver's side door back off again, and I went ahead and stripped all of the glue off of the doors. Trying to get these all ready for the new weather stripping. There's still a little bit of residual left on there or whatnot, but I'm not gonna worry about it. That stuff's all worked down into the grooves and stuff, so should be fine. I just use this 3M general purpose adhesive remover, and almost a whole can of this stuff is what it took me to get it off. So I'm ready there. That's all good to go. I did get my box from the filling station. Let's crack that thing open and see what kind of goodies I got. All right, guys, I guess it's Christmas in August. So this is all from the filling station in Oregon. What do we got here? Receipts. Yes. Okay, I won't tell you the total on that. That one hurt a little bit. All right, what do we got here? We got Precision. That's good to see. Which one is, what is this? Okay, these are the lower door seals. So I got all the door weather stripping and everything for all around the door. The windlace, the lower weather stripping, the door weather stripping itself that goes on the door itself, and then on the cab as well. So I have all of that now. So that's what all this is. Okay, this is the drain tube and the cowl vent gasket that I needed. This is the back window seal. These are the wing window rubbers. This is the door channels. Got both of those. The glass runs. I did get 2 new visor arms. I just ordered visors too, and I did get them in a brown color. So these are cool. These are just fine for what I'm doing. Oh, I did get 2 armrests as well. And then I also got, these are pretty inexpensive, but these match the visors, door panels. Just super simple. I figured, you know what, I might as well, they're cheap enough and it'll look, you know, nice and stock. And then I also got the metal rings that go around them, the framing for it. And these got a nice little grain to them. They look pretty good. I think that was it for this box. All right, as for the door weather stripping and my debacle with that whole deal. So this is what I had on the door originally. And then this is what I'm replacing it with, this one here. So it is definitely a little bit shorter. That should work out just fine, I think. And this is a lot softer material as well. So I think this is gonna compress onto the door a lot better. Not a lot softer, it's just a little bit softer than this stuff was. This stuff was just too thick right here, and it just would not compress enough in the door. I know a lot of people made suggestions of like ratchet strapping the doors together to get that stuff to compress over time. And yes, I could have done that, but this was just, it wasn't even close. So that's why we're starting over. And lesson learned from the first one, I'm only gonna put this on one door, install the door, make sure it's okay first, and then we'll do the other door when I know it's all right. Do you have those days where you just question why you do this? Today is one of those days for me. So I started putting the glue on the seal, and then when I got almost done, I realized I put it on the flat side, on the bottom side, but then I put it on the wrong vertical edge. I put it on the outside instead of the inside. So I had to hurry up and get some adhesive remover and wipe the seal down and clean it off. Luckily, it seems to be okay. I just got myself in a big hurry, you know, because it's hot, it's humid. I always get myself in a big dang hurry. And then I get all flustered by it, preceded by complete irritation and anger. All right, there it is. This stuff definitely laid a lot better. Definitely a lot thinner than the other one. I should have moved the truck, but oh well. This door goes on nice and easy. I think we're good, boys. I've got it adjusted pretty good. The latch is hitting the striker, just barely kissing it. Everything else looks okay though. And I'll get a piece of paper, run a piece of paper around there. Thanks for the tip, by the way, from the last video. Guys were saying that. That's how they check it. I mean, it closes good, it feels good. So, I think we're okay. Some tile terminology there. There's a little bit of lippage, but all right, guys, I think I got it. Both of them are done. Got the seals on the passenger door. Everything's fitting really well. It actually went together okay. I've had to open and close the door 1,000 times to get it set just right, but I don't know. I think we're good. It's out just kind of the same thing over there. It's out just a tiny bit right here on the side, but it's good all the way down here. And then the front is perfect. So other than that, I think we're in pretty good shape. I'm not gonna go crazy doing a fine tuning adjustment on this. I've just got it good enough. So my goal for this video was to have these doors completely finished, all the weather stripping in, the glass back in it. But unfortunately, there were some shipping issues with the rest of the parts that I needed. And we have Labor Day weekend coming up this weekend. So I'm not going to get that stuff until next week, unfortunately. I ordered new lock cylinders and everything, a matching set, so each side will have a key. And then I ordered the gaskets for the door handles and all that little stuff, you know, the bumpers for the lower windows when the window's down. A whole bunch of little stuff like that, but unfortunately I can't put the door together until I have all that stuff. So for now, we're just going to call the doors basically done. At least they're hung, they're mounted, they're adjusted properly, and they seem to be working really well. So since I can't do any more with the doors, what do you guys think about painting the hood? Let's get that over with. I'd also like to do the bumper, get that painted and get that installed if I can in this video. Let's see how it goes. But tomorrow morning, we're going on a field trip first. I think you'll like this one. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, guys. Got the truck and trailer here. I'm out here on the west side of town, and let me show you what we're picking up. What do you think? Not the truck, but the flatbed. So the plan was to build my own flatbed from scratch. That was the plan. But I was out here a couple weeks ago getting some parts from this gentleman, and he happened to have this Ford sitting out here with a tilt flatbed on it that he does not want. So we made a deal on it. And this thing is a nice older flatbed with the rounded corners, which I really like. And it's probably a 50s era, if I'd have to guess. And it's got the tilt mechanism and everything already in it, the ram and all that. So I think this will work out just right for the truck. Basically, it'll be period correct, and it's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm here with Pete. Where are we, Pete?
We're at Pete's Hot Rod and Truckin Ranch out in Whitman, Arizona.
What do you do here?
We basically modify trucks. We buy up parts and everything. We sell parts, sell trucks, whatever. We got a couple of cars around here. Getting ready to do a 48 Buick right down there, Wally.
Okay.
It's got a straight 8 in it. And now here I am with Wally, selling him a bed off the old Ford pickup.
Well, I do appreciate it, that's for sure. And he has got quite the yard out here, full of parts, full of trucks. He's got containers full of parts, and we actually talked about coming back out here doing a video with him. So if you guys are interested in seeing what this guy's got, let us know, and we'll come back out here and we'll do a video for you guys and give you a big tour of the yard. He's got all kinds of good stuff out here. All right, down she goes. Come in just a little bit. Should get us pretty close to the middle there. Just want to get it as close as I can. That'll work. All right, guys, she's all loaded, strapped down, ready to go.
Let me show you one more thing we've been working on.
All right.
Got a 58 pickup, short bed fleet side we've been putting together.
Nice.
All rust-free metal.
Yep.
So, anybody interested, it will be up for sale with another one.
How do they get a hold of you?
602-989-1735. Pete's Hot Rod and Truckin Ranch.
You can find them under Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yep.
Yep. That's the main place to get a hold of them.
We got 5 acres of stuff out here.
Yep. We'll do a tour, and if you look carefully back over there, there's a little cab over there poking through.
Yep.
That's a pretty sweet truck. I'll have to go check that out.
53, no rust, no rot, beautiful truck. Guy that belongs to a buddy of mine, he wants $7,800 asking price.
Here you go.
My kids I have got 6 boys, and not one of them interested in this stuff, so
Yeah.
I don't want to see it going to the scrapyard, and that's pretty much where it's going to go if I pass away.
Yeah. Well, get a hold of Pete here, and if you guys are looking for what year specifically?
Now we're 37 to about 81.
And you're heading back to Kansas next week, you said, or tomorrow.
Yeah, I got a 49 Chevy I'm picking up and a 54 Chevy I'm picking up, all rust-free and running, that I'm going to go back and pick up and bring it back here. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Cool.
I really want to get the two of them back here and get them running. I want to be driving them around a little bit.
We're in August anyway, so hopefully another couple months we'll be out of the heat. We can enjoy our toys. So
yeah, we're finally down to 105 and not instead of 115.
Get a hold of Pete if you need any parts again, and get this flatbed home and get it refurbished and get it on the cab over. I'm gonna measure this thing. So this thing is 7'10" wide and about 13.7 long. So I'm pretty happy with the length of it, but the width of it, I think I'm gonna narrow up just a little bit. So you can see the back of it here is definitely beat up a little bit, but we can get this fixed up. And I think what I'll do is I'll just cut this thing off right here and cut it off over there, and then we'll straighten all this thing out, get it fixed up, and then I'll weld it back on. And then I may just cut it right down the middle and narrow it up that way. And then we just cut the frame off, so I've got the pivot point and everything for the dump part of it. And then I ended up just buying all the ram and the whole lift mechanism. I don't know if I'll use that yet, but we'll see. All right, so I think the flatbed's gonna be pretty sweet. And it was my plan originally also to make this thing a tilt bed, not necessarily a dump bed, but what I'd like to do is just have it tilt up just enough to when you put ramps on it, you don't have that steep breakover angle with the ramps. You know, with the bed tilted up, it'll make it a little easier to load a car on it, or the Maverick, whatever, you know, so. But that lift mechanism should go high enough that I can just make it a full-blown dump bed at this point. So I should be able to use that. I guess we'll see how it goes later, but again, we'll worry about that thing later. So thank you, Pete, again, for the help with the flatbed. I do appreciate it. And again, we'll get back out there and get you guys a tour of his yard because he's got some good stuff out there. All right, good morning, guys. No more screwing around with the flatbed. Let's get on this hood. I spent a little bit of time this morning when I came out, and these original indentations for the emblem for the 53 and earlier emblem is totally different than the 54, 55. So I just hammered and dollied those back out again flat. And because I don't have a hood emblem for this thing yet, I'm hoping I can make one work off of a 54, 55 pickup truck. It's about the same curvature in the front. So I'm just trying to get a hold of one of those used, and then I'll try to fit it and see what happens. But if anybody out there has a hood emblem for 54, 55, early 55 that they want to get rid of for a COE, let me know. And I'd be more than happy to buy it from you. All right, just a quick sand on this thing just to give it some teeth. I'm debating on welding these holes up where the old emblem was because I think from what I can tell in pictures, the ones for the cab over or the 54 pickups, they're in different positions, at least as far as what I can tell in a picture. I don't have another hood or I haven't seen another one to compare it to. So rather than go through the effort of painting this thing and leaving these holes open, I think I'm just gonna weld them up real quick, and then when I get an emblem, I can just basically start over again and drill new holes, you know. Hopefully they don't end up in the exact same spot, I don't know. But again, I have nothing to go off of other than pictures. So I think that's what I'm gonna do real quick. All right, guys, she's good enough. It's a little lumpy and bumpy, but hey, the rest of the hood is, you know, when I get the new emblem, it'll cover up a lot of this anyway. So it'll be just fine for this thing because it's all rusted here, and, you know, the center band is all rusted out. Unfortunately, these hoods are really hard to find parts for, or find the hoods themselves are very difficult. I've been hunting and hunting, but nobody wants to get off of them. So we're just gonna call it good enough. Make it work. Just gonna give this a quick wipe down. Get all my greasy mitten prints off of it. I'll try to get this as good as I can, guys. I'm not very good with the colors and trying to match stuff like that. I don't have the eye for it. I kind of struggle with it a little bit, but I'll do the best I can. Try to make it look halfway decent. I figure anything will be better than this big ugly rust color hood. So, and if you're new around here and you're wondering why I'm not going to spend the time and do it right, well, this hood is not the correct hood for this truck. This is a 1953 and earlier hood for these cab overs. My truck is a 1955 and early 55, and they only made the hoods for these trucks for 1954 and half of 1950, or at least very early 1955. And I basically adapted this hood to work with this truck. So, and it's really rusted and it's in pretty rough shape. So we're just gonna make it work for now until hopefully someday I can find one. What I'm gonna try to do is blend this hood. I'm gonna leave a lot of the red oxide on the top, and then I'm just gonna try to fade it down and get a little bit heavier green as it goes down. So to try to get that original fade look from top to bottom. Very much like the roof up there, you know, where you can really see the red oxide primer and then it fades down into the green is what I want to do. And same thing with the cowling here. The top of the fenders here, this is really heavy rust. I did Comet wash this whole truck and that did help it a little bit, but this stuff is just so deep, it's not gonna come out unless I really get after it with like a 36 grit sandpaper. And I'm not gonna do that. And there's also a lot of black mixed in as well. So when you look at it from certain angles, you can really see the black up here on top of the fenders. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and fog some of this in black first, and then we'll do the green over it and then kind of scuff the green down to expose some of that black. So I'm just gonna wing it. I don't know, I'm just basically talking out my hind end on this whole thing. So we're gonna see what happens. I've been watching a whole bunch of different videos, a whole bunch of different people doing, you know, patina match paint jobs and whatnot. All right, I forgot to hit record, sorry. That's the second time I've done that. All right, I just took a little black and I fogged some black over it just to try to get those areas there. I just went over it with a really light coat in spots. I'm just gonna mix up about a half a cup here. I don't need a lot to do that hood. And I do have some reducer in case I need it, and then I'll probably put a little bit of hardener in it because this isn't oil-based. You know, this is just, you know, Ace Hardware oil-based paint. That's what I used on the cab corners and it worked out okay. And I'm basically just gonna guess at the mixture here, and then we'll kind of hold it up to the truck and test it and see what it looks like. Now there's all kinds of different greens on this truck actually. Once I Comet washed it, I really noticed that. Like the cab is kind of one particular shade of green. The steps look like at one point, maybe they were painted at some point and it's off just a little bit. And then again, the cab corner right here, when I did it, I made it a little bit dark. But honestly, when you're standing away from it from like 5 feet away, you can't tell anyway. This is actually looks pretty darn close. All right, I think that's gonna be okay. All right, I just put one couple extra little drops of black in there just to make it a tick darker, and I think we're good. I'm gonna put a little reducer in it because of course it's Arizona and it's 100 and, I don't know, it's not that bad. It's only 102 or something. All right, guys, let's give this a shot. I'll do my best here. Sorry if the light's not quite right, but with the cover, it's not perfect. So I'm just gonna try to fog this and Okay. I don't know, it seems okay. Add a couple darker spots around the hinges, I guess, because that would kind of make sense. I don't know. I figure I can always take paint away. It's easier to take it away later than it is to add it. So I might as well just, if I add a little bit, I can, if I add too much, I can take away later, is what I'm saying. It doesn't look too bad. All right, guys. Yeah, it's actually got a little shine to it. It actually doesn't look too bad. Too bad I'm going to sand most of it off. But yeah, I just left it real thin up here. And then once it dries, I'll go ahead and sand on this a little bit more. We'll bring it down a little bit, really blend it in. Try to make it similar to the roof line up there. You know, and I'll get these middle areas where it's rusted, you know, the center support and everything where it's rusted out. I can sand all that stuff later. But that'll give me a good head start for kind of blending it all in. So yeah, I don't know, it looks it looks a heck of a lot better. That's for sure. And then I'll sand this down too. And that black is all underneath of here, so I'll thin that green out till that black starts coming out. And then, yeah. Now I know you anti-patina guys can't stand it. I get it. But it looks a heck of a lot better than it did. All right, I have no idea. I'm hope the hardener that I put in there will let it cure out a little bit quicker than it did last time. I know the cab corners took like 3 days or something to dry. I'm hoping this won't take that long, but it's okay if it does. I'll probably stick it in the sun somewhere, let it cure out. I gotta go dig the front bumper out, and let's see what we can do with that. All right, there it is in the sun. Ah, it doesn't look bad. I've got it kind of pointed away from me, so it's hard to get in there, but now the inside of it I'll spray. I've got a bunch of that leftover undercoating, and I'll just spray that hole underneath later. But otherwise, it looks okay. Yeah, of course the bugs are already sticking to it. All right, so there's the front bumper. This was an extra bumper that I got when I picked up the truck. The original one was banged up really bad. This one's not perfect, but it's straight enough, that's for sure. These things are very heavy. They're very thick. This thing's basically 1/4 inch thick material. So I'm not going to worry about any blemishes that it has because it's just going to be too much of a headache to straighten it. It'll look just fine. And then this is the original splash apron. Really don't know what to call it. So this goes right below the grill. Right like that. So that thing is in decent shape. There's a couple little dents I need to bang out and just kind of straighten it out a little bit. So I haven't mocked any of this up. I haven't tried to fit any of it yet. Other than the splash apron, I did kind of mock that up, and that'll be fine. That's basically just going to sit right on top of the frame because the grill is basically on top of the frame anyway. But as far as the bumper brackets and everything, I have no idea. I'm just going to wing it. All right, after some beating and banging, I got this thing pretty well straightened out. Now the hard part is I have to lift this grill up a little bit to get it in there because the tolerances were a little tight. Now, truth be told, when I put the cab on this frame, I basically guessed at the height. I tried to keep it close to the original. So where this grill sits in relation to the motorhome frame, I completely got lucky right here, the way it fits. It's like right on the frame. So I will 100% admit that was pure luck. I might have to cut this inner lip off so it'll fit on there nice and flat to the frame. Okay, let me do that. Let me mark this real quick and cut that flange off. I think that's what's gonna have to be done. That's better. All right, now these just kind of float in here. They're not, I mean, it didn't fit great from the factory, so I'm not gonna sweat this too much. We'll just get it close where it looks halfway decent. And I gotta figure out how I'm gonna mount it. And of course we know this grill isn't perfect. All right, after a little more beating and banging, a little more cutting, I've got it okay. It's not perfect, but now don't forget this grill was completely bashed in right here and bashed in up here in the nose. I did grab the grill and kind of twist it, pull it out and up. That did help quite a bit with the alignment. And then I just ground off the edges a little bit more to give me a little more room along the frame rail, you know. So it's like in a little bit further over there than it is over here. It's really close. I think that's gonna look just fine though. All right, so as far as mounting this thing, I really don't know. I'll probably just make some kind of quick and dirty brackets or something that bolt to the frame. All right, I'm just gonna lay here on the ground and stare at it for a little bit, see what I can come up with. Good times. All right, before I commit to any of that, let's just kind of hold the bumper up here and see where we're at. Yeah, we should be fine. Okay, I wish I could say it's done, but it is not, clearly. I got this pan fit okay. What I ended up doing was it's sitting right on top of the frame rail, and then I just put some of those clip nuts on the frame and then bolted it down here and then here. And then on the underside of the pan here, I welded one of the old brackets back on and put a riv nut in. So I'll make a bracket off of here to probably the bumper support, but I'll figure that out once I get the bumper mounted. And I'm just trying to figure out this bumper mounting right now. So these are the original cab over bumper mounts for the outsides of the bumper, and I'll be able to make these work just fine. Basically, I'll get them set in place, and I'm gonna have to just figure out my length, and I'll cut them off, and then I'll weld a plate on, drill some holes, and bolt it up. I'm gonna have to make custom brackets for here on the middle parts, but I think I've got it figured out how to do it, and I'm just gonna use more old motorhome brackets. The bumper fits okay-ish. This corner was bent out. I had to make a couple relief cuts on the top and the bottom and just kind of bent it back in a little bit just to get it a little straighter. But it's looking halfway decent. It's just kind of mocked up right now, and it's kind of level-ish. The bumper's tweaked. I mean, that corner's bent up, this one's bent. We're just gonna get it as close as we can and have it look somewhat presentable. As long as it looks, you know, level from a distance, I'll be happy with it. Yeah, I've been messing with this for a few hours, just doing a lot of thinking and trying to get it all lined up right. You know, unfortunately, all this stuff has to be custom made now with the motorhome frame, but I'm getting it. I'm whittling away at it little by little. But for now, I'm gonna call the video. You're gonna have to wait till next week. I'm tired, I'm done. It's a holiday weekend. I wanna relax for the rest of the weekend. And I wanna get this video done and get it edited and get it up for you in the morning, which is Sunday morning, right now, when you're watching this. All right, guys, well, I appreciate you watching. Don't forget, get out there, go work on your stuff, keep moving forward with your projects, one little bit at a time. Please like, share, and subscribe if you don't mind. And I gotta remind people all the time too, with subscriptions, it's not a fee. It says subscribe, it is not a fee. You do not have to pay, it's 100% free. All it does is just help me out, helps me fund this madness. Have a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week. All right, guys, hold on a minute. I went ahead and threw the hood up here just to see what it looked like, and it looks pretty good. Obviously, it's way too glossy, but what I did was I got impatient, and I went ahead and started hitting it with some Scotch-Brite, and then I hit it with some 220, but you can see kind of the look we're going for. I think that's gonna work out really well once I get it all blended in. So yeah, I'll just end up kind of going down the side of the hood a little bit, and then we'll leave a lot of this, the heavier green. I'm done. I think that looks pretty good. All right, see you next week.